Yello, and welcome to episode 18 of my IXION playthrough. So, before we begin today, we need to address some misinformation at the end of last episode, or rather, an erroneous assumption. So, one of my beef that I had with that quest, or that event, was that it appeared to be required. That is potentially not true. I was working on the assumption that because I couldn't click the one underneath it, that was because I needed to click the one above it first, but that wasn't the case. The one beneath it is the one we still need to do yet. We need to get the tycoon there. So there is a non-zero chance that I could have done all of the major things and then been allowed to leave the research object, or whatever they refer to it as, and not actually click that. But without having going back and redoing all that, I don't know for sure whether or not it's required that you actually do that bit. But anyway, I still have two other beefs with it. Firstly, let us read this. The dangers of space exploration. Keep casualties to a minimum while exploring the Immortan system. Keep casualties to a minimum. Last I checked, transferring crew from one ship to another doesn't kill them or injure them in any way. I believe that's how that works. I don't believe they just disappear into a void of death. Now, this is probably just a limitation in the way that the game was designed. The game isn't designed to distinguish between a crew member leaving and a crew member dying. It's just research ship dot remove crew 2. In both cases. So the wording of that quest and the wording of what happened in no way makes sense. They could have said something closer to minimize crew losses, which would have made more sense, but even then, you're talking about crew losses. Generally speaking, losses in this particular context is using a military term in terms of number of troops lost one way or another. Whether that's to AWOL missing, or missing in action, lost in action. Potentially you could include injured as well as lost crew or lost troops. But that's not what it says, and even then we didn't lose them, they just transferred to another ship, so it's arguable. And the final thing is, we are once again proved that the scientists on our science ship are not worthy of the name, because what we had here is a bunch of old farts who are very jaded and obviously have been around, been through a very hard time. It's understandable that they might be jaded. They have a belief, is how it was presented to us, a belief that they believe that the VHOL engine causes these catastrophes. Based upon a sample size of 1, as far as we're aware, they provided no other evidence that any other VHOL jump caused some kind of cataclysm. So we have a known sample size of 1. They never told us they presented any evidence. It was phrased in a way to be a verbal conversation. And our scientists said, yes, we believe your words, your lack of evidence. We believe that you believe that that's true, and we are going to choose to believe that with you with no evidence of any kind. So we are going to leave. Scientists. Now there's this thing called the scientific method, whereby scientists, they come up with a hypothesis, and then what they do is they try to find evidence for that hypothesis. They try and find things that would validate it, they try and prove it, they perform experiments, they collect as much data as they can to verify what they believe to be true, and once they believe they have enough information, they then present that information to the world. And the rest of the scientists in the world then take this information and say, this is interesting. Let's see if we can replicate and prove this. And if everybody can, then it becomes largely considered as part of the scientific fact, because this is evidence. The evidence correlates with the evidence we've collected on the same subject. This seems reasonable. It seems plausible. We can prove it. No, our scientists, no, just word of some old farts. Yeah, we're going to change our point of view of how everything works, and we're just going to abandon everything. No evidence, no testing, no nothing. They are not worthy of the name scientists. They are not scientists on the science ship. They are dumbass people, and I need to treat them as such and remember to continue to treat them as such, because they do not deserve the name scientist. Anyway, ranting over. It is time. How long does this take? 2 and a bit cycles. I believe we have more than enough battery in all sectors to do that. Yeah, we don't need to make any adjustments. So this is going to be a dangerous trip, but it's a trip we have to make. My verisimilitude is ruined, is what I'm saying. Okay, we also did some quick looking things up. There's this wonderful site called IXION.info. It's basically a sector builder. It has all of the all of the buildable components in it, and you can just go into it and then start placing things around, building roads and everything. But it let me know the information the game does not. Firstly, the next tier of these, the medium-size storage bins.
Caution. Entering extreme low temperature environment.
The medium size of these is quite literally just 2 of these stacked together. The biggest problem with them is that the what's it called? The access point is along the long edge rather than the short edge, which means for over here we're going to have to rotate these around and use these two, these two, and these two. The tier up from that, the large one, is just a group of 4. The medium-sized batteries are actually 5x5. What I need to check is how much power they generate relative to the tier 1 ones. They store 300, whereas the tier 1 ones store 100. In that case, they are fractionally more space efficient than just having 4 of them, but not enough for me to actually replace them. What other buildings? Oh yeah, the next tier up of housing is the same size as this one, which made me want to check a particular detail on them. Optimized quarters in high quality. Now that's a frame rate. 18? What the hell are you trying to do here, game? Pause. Frame rate is all the way down at 20 still. Jesus Christ, what the hell? Is it just on there? Yeah. They put too much detail into this ship over here. That's the problem. There's too much detail on this. It's just not well optimized. We'll have to avoid that view. Okay, we're not actually quite there yet, so I don't think we can start this yet. We're going to need to start that basically immediately because we need to get it done and get out of here before our crew freezes. Repair the Protagoras superstructure and reboot its core systems. You. Frame rate in here isn't going to be great either because we still have the external of the ship out there. Do I want to build this thing now? We don't need it yet. I could start prepping this. I need to be mindful of our food usage. We also could start preparing access to the next area, which we're thinking of making another area for food production, maybe? Okay, this area is starting to run a little low on food, and that's one concern about potentially the larger food stores that I have at the minute. It's that, excuse me.
You can implement a new policy.
Do I need to? I think this one's working okay. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't know whether one of the medium-size storage bins, what are they referred to as? Stockpiles. I don't know if they get more little vehicles driving around. Stockpiles can send one more transport. Because if these don't get like double the number of transports, then if I replace my food storage with them, then they're just not going to be able to get the food to everywhere quick enough. That's basically the problem we're having at the minute. It's not so much a production problem, it's that... can I turn that on there? Because this is 12. Oh no, it is 10. I could put it on, but we would remove the... We would be on borderline. One crew member has died last cycle due to environmental effects. We are being forced to be here. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. Let's just make sure... Yeah, that has stockpile. That is food stockpile. The food stockpile here is not keeping up, and this is the problem. This is why I temporarily changed this to be a food stockpile as well. Do they still have... They still have enough food for the next cycle, so... We might be okay for the time being. We need to keep an eye on that. One alloy short. I think we might have grabbed all the personnel by now. Nope, we still got some left over here. 36. We have enough to keep that in storage. I might send the Tyquin once we're done to here, and then over to here or here, probably over to here, just so it's more central to the remainder of the ferrite, because I'd like to make sure I have all the ferrite before we leave. The hull and our EVA workers are at risk. Okay, we lost another crew member due to our environmental effects. We could theoretically disable one of these and just run a lower hull integrity. No, we'll just try and get this done as quick as possible. Okay. That's working. We could build another mushroom wall. Yeah, we're still okay for food, so let's not overly worry about that for now. Let's just try to stay in this area for the shortest amount of time possible. Obviously we can't move at the minute, I'm just curious. No. So we can make a trip over to there. Trip over to there is going to take us 4 cycles, then we are better off going here to here probably. far down this are we? 2 more left and then we can start grabbing other research. I think the first thing I'm going to grab is accelerated growth and then intelligent design, so that we can then come back to the mess hall and start grabbing these two to maximize the amounts we can get out of our food. EVA airlock has been disabled. That's a pain, but not unworkable. Hospital isn't full? Hospital is not full. Okay, good. People in Sector 4 are going to starve. Of course they are, because these people here can't deliver the food fast enough.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Transfer 250 crew from the Protagoras to the Tyquin. I mean, we've collected most of the ones that were frozen. Is there now more? Yeah, there's actually now more. The core systems of the Protagoras are now online and operational. The pairs of the superstructure are complete. We've spoken to the crew of the Protagoras. It's clear that most of them now wish to pursue a different goal than exoplanet colonization. With their Tachyon calculators stolen by the UN, and their ability to generate vol coordinates with it, they say that they will no longer attempt to reach Remus. Instead, the Protagoras will become a place of life in perpetual displacement. As there are only 2 sectors of ship functionality, however, the crew accept that they may reduce their numbers if they are to have a chance to endure in such an existence. While some will leave the Protagoras with heavy hearts, comforted only by the knowledge that they are giving their crewmates the better odds of survival, many more actually wish to join us on the Tyquin and see the mission to reach Remus through to its end. We must welcome them on board the Tyquin before we leave the system and the Protagoras behind. Yeah, so we may have been able to leave without talking to the elders, but I don't know for sure. Okay, so there's no reason for me to stay here and wait for the crew, because my cargo ship will pick them up and bring them to me. My god, we're only getting 17 workers out of all of that, yeah. You can come to me. I am not risking what crew I have waiting for 200 useless crew members to come aboard. Wait, we've lost... Yeah, that's what I thought. We don't need that online at the minute. We can turn that off temporarily. We'll turn this on just so that we can rebuild our stockpiles a little bit more. You have sufficient food again. I didn't actually check how long this could survive. We might lose power in this sector. I think we should be okay. For the time being, let's turn these off just to be sure. Make sure we have sufficient power. That is going to bring us into a net negative. We need to keep things managed. If we brought all those crew on board that are actually useless, they did all go in here. Okay, that's fine. See, that's built, that's built, that's built, that's built, that's built, that's built, they're built. Let's get that completed. We are using this as a store for useless crew members. It's a bit harsh. Non-contributing crew members, we'll refer to them that way. Okay, if we can stop moving, then I can turn all of these back on until the battery's full. That's, I think I can as well, anyway. We can turn that back on. Yeah, the influx of crew we're about to get, we may just need to massively increase food production temporarily. So I may have to build another one of these down here. That doesn't use any water, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, that battery's fully charged. It says 25. Okay, we can make that move. Let's get us out of this dangerous area and check if we lost accidents. We've had some accidents, but it doesn't look like anyone else has frozen to death yet. Yeah, we lost 6, we've lost 2 more. We might lose 1 more before we get out of here. Let's turn this off, just turn these off again, just to give us that little bit of extra power. It's again putting us in negative food, but only just in negative food. You're fine. You're fine. You're stockpiling again. Research is almost done. Excuse me. That's being built and on the way. We'll see if once that's built, if this would, or this area will then count as civilian. I'm betting no. That might be what I do with Sector 6. I may convert this slightly and make this even more of a mass storage area. And I may make Sector 6 the purely civilian area. And what I will also do alongside that is, like, I will put the buildings that can be shared with other buildings. So the health center, the Exo Fighting Dome. The Exo Fighting Dome is huge. Not that one, so yeah, these two. There was one more, drone bay. I might put that over there. We'll see. Research done? Research almost done. I know we can increase the battery capacity more by the next piece of research, can't we? Yeah. We can give it another 10%. Charge speed is kind of pointless. It's not like we're down and stopped moving for any real length of time. And I think as it stands, we're not sending new crew out from here. That's the button I'm looking for. Yeah, okay. This is going to have 300 crew in it eventually. This will have I may want to change the... This may want to have 300 crew in it as well. Because it would be good if I could get this sector into extra hours as well. Because at the minute, not all of this is powered. Not extra hours. The one that increases crew requirements by 25%. Yeah, so with that in mind, let's take from here non-workers from Sector 3 to Sector 1. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do in Sector 1. Let's send 50 over. And we'll say that Sector 1 can have a total of 200 crew for the time being. So we'll also say from Sector 4 to Sector 1, another 10. That'll bring... These all have 100 non-workers, that'll have 200 non-workers. The majority of the non-workers will be here. And then we can also send over additional workers over here, although we don't currently need them. It is again going to come down to a case of what's most use, or what to use this space for. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this particular space. I could put another recycling center in, or put a recycling center in here specifically, and have this one just producing iron. Because eventually we're going to get the research, or the plan will be to get the research whereby we're getting population from, not population, we're getting recyclable materials, waste, from the housing as well. We will grab that eventually. Okay, so you now have 3 of the large cell buildings. You have a very large population here, and it's still... These must count for basically nothing. Building specialization population. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 buildings specialized for population. Buildings specialized for population, and we still don't have a population specialization. It's not like there's much other than housing that gives us that tag. Crew quarters, optimized crew quarters, cell housing. These don't, in spite of being in population areas. The mess halls do. These do. Maybe if I activate this mess hall. If I activate this mess hall, will that give me what I need? No. Still no specialization in population. What is extra stability going to gain me here?
Population transfer complete.
Okay, so that sector should now have 200 non-workers in it. We can tell this, send over workers there, so it'll have 200 workers in here eventually, which should give us plenty for these. We can also then put on what's it called? We can enable this policy here. Did I disable propaganda? Yes. We're still running propaganda in here because of lack of crew, or lack of workers, weren't we? I think we can probably turn it on now. I get the feeling that if we keep intensive propaganda up for too long, it's actually going to have a negative effect. So let's change that over to supporting working hours. That's made things tight, but it still goes. That still works. We'll have to keep an eye out for overloading crew. We can do the same here now. And then take intensive off. Once they're done. Okay, you're bringing over the crew. You still have ferrite all over the place. Yeah, these are going to come and drop a lot of ferrite down on us. Do I want to get the next solar cell? I could unlock the next area. No, we need more workers in here first. Having all of these on doesn't currently help. Can't make any more silicon currently, that's fine. This is very steadily making us silicon. Oh wait, didn't I?
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
They were supposed to have fixed that. Okay, it didn't kill a crew member. That's what I did. I accidentally turned that on and off. Okay. We're fine, it didn't kill a crew member, but they said that they had fixed you getting a accident immediately after the working condition changed. That still happened, but it gave us basically the previous tier of accidents. We didn't actually lose anyone. I'm probably going to have to rearrange this building, or this slightly. I'm not sure how yet though. I kind of want to put this in here. For one thing. We know that this will fit up here. We're not going to be able to put in one of these in here, but we could also always put a house in there or something. Although actually this isn't as wide as these, so we could probably get a few more things up here. If we moved it. Okay, everything's okay so far. I don't want to build this yet. Let's speed things up. I think everything is more or less stable. What are we looking at? We still have about 1,000 ferrite in here, and that's 1-to-1 converted. Our stockpiles are basically full, so these are powered off. Yeah, they're powered off. We may as well get them built.
Administrator, you can implement a new policy.
In Sector 1, which I don't think I need to do at the minute. We could enable waste recycling here as well. But we don't have a bin to collect it in, so... This place doesn't currently make waste. It's Sector 3 and 4 that we're mostly concerned about getting, waiting on the policies to be completed. Okay, we are almost running at maximum capacity for our food. And we still have more crew coming in from over there. I think we're going to turn this off for now. I know people aren't going to like that, but we need to be able to feed everyone. And given that we're going to have some more people coming on board, and at the minute we're only just producing more than we need and we are losing food, we don't have the stockpiles that we usually have. We are going to need this online now.
Administrator, you can implement a new policy.
Okay, let's put it back on normal speed. We in theory do have the time now to start making stuff in the next sector. So we could start getting another farm, up and running. We're not going to have enough crew for it though, at the minute. We can't really wake up more crew. I think what we need is we need to be able to get this so that we can get intelligent growth or accelerated growth, get intelligent design. Basically just increase food production speed. I mean, this one might be a good one to just get that in, but we'd need to get it in the crop farm first. And before I get any other research done, I want this. I want to be getting the maximum amount of science we can. We do still need to build the train station. We're going to have to build them on all of them. 16 food. Yeah, I think that's actually going to be the best idea. We'll have another farm over here. I know we can massively increase the amount of food that we can make, and we can double the efficiency of that food. But we're just going to be getting more and more crew, so we need to have a second farming area, I'm almost certain of it. Let's at least get to the point where we are allowed to leave the system. PA of the Protagoras is unresponsive. it will need to be replaced. Waiting for a science ship. So we can still do stuff over there.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
That took an infirmary out. Okay, this should be the last run it needs to make for people. Our ice supplies are looking healthy. Can I enable these at the minute? I can now. Oxygen in Sector 4, everything's fine.
The Protagoras is reactivated and operational. We have received the Ep18's full signature. Act with caution when facing this UN superstructure. We are ready to follow to reach Remus. Nothing is holding us back.
Huh? Ain't nobody got time for that. I didn't know such thing, game. Pause. So that said skip a transmission within 1 second of it happening, which is not what I did. I clicked next transmission, and then it went to close transmission. It didn't even start a second transmission. When was the last point this game saved? I'm saving here just to be sure. Just to be safe. When was the last autosave? 1 cycle ago. Let's not have any of that bullshit now, game. Either there was a transmission there or there was not. Don't auto-skip it because I clicked it once.
Administrator, the Protagoras is reactivated and operational. We have received the Ep18's full signature. Act with caution when facing this UN superstructure. We are ready to follow to reach Remus. Nothing is holding us back.
Okay. Next transmission, it says. And there isn't one. Okay, so the game is just being a derp. Okay, they still need something. That's fine. We're not going to vol jump yet. We still have... we want to get all of the ferrites, and then I want my ice storage to be full. Let's keep our surplus supply of carbon. I was thinking whether or not to get the next tier of, what's it called? I was thinking whether or not to get the next tier of solar panels. Well, I think we have some breathing room in the power that we have. And strictly speaking, we are still positive in food. I think I'm going to have to bring this online as an additional food storage, though. Things are just not moving around or being moved around fast enough. Yeah, no, we can produce sufficient water, that's not a problem. We need a handful more crew so that we can reactivate, or that we can activate this. Because the problem we have basically is that we don't have enough of these things to transfer food around, and the best way of getting more of them is just building another stockpile. This is another reason why I kind of want to get another farm area up and running.
An accident has occurred in the Typhoon.
A workshop has been disabled in Sector 2. 2 crew members. Is it workshop? No. Extra ones appeared while I was reading one. They were lined up enough that I just kept reading on. That's 3 accidents in space of a couple of seconds. That's fine. We've got used to that by now.
Administrator, you can implement a new policy.
I'm hoping we can get a bit more research from that before we leave. You have plenty of food. You're running low on food. You have plenty of food. But still, no population. Yeah, no population specialization here. How is this not enough for population specialization? Do I actually need a certain level of population? We have 600. We almost are out of beds in here. Okay, we're not going to be getting any more crew. That does give it enough to activate this. But the bigger problem is just that's how tight food is at the minute. I think we may just have to manually send some additional actual crew over to here from another sector. We could send 40 crew over into here. It's weird, didn't I power these on? Oh yeah, we powered these on, but then we subsequently left. We have used up all the carbon in here. What are we looking at in terms of the amount of ice that is to be collected? 3,000. Ferrite is getting close to being done. You see, while all of these are basically empty, now is a good time for me to start swapping these over with bigger ones. But I don't have the research for it. I want another. I don't want another science ship, at least not in there. If I'm going to do anything with this one, it'll be another mining ship and another 2 cargo ships. I mean, it's just a crew member per, so. Yeah, they don't have orders until we actually send them out. We don't really have the crew members to be doing this, but that's fine. We can disable a bunch of things eventually. For example, we don't actually need that online at the minute. We don't need that online at the minute. Now that it's full, we can get our resources from
A
here.
side ship has arrived at its destination.
Okay. The PA of the Protagoras is unresponsive. It will need to be replaced. We have reached the data storage center of the PA. Save a copy. Brute force bypass. Nemian protocol. Are we only getting this specifically because the PA of the Protagoras will be transferred and stored within the Tyquin? That sounds like a good research option. Are we only getting the Nimian protocol stuff as a result of what happened over here? Does that mean that it's a bonus that whatever happened to our crew happened to our crew? It's hard to say. Now that's being constructed now. We need it to be constructed. What I might do is I might disable this immediately after we've built it. Just making sufficient food. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's let all of these 3 ships build, and then I might just disable this and save it for the next system. Rather than activate it now, which will give us the opportunity. I think we do need to crack this open before we leave, otherwise we're going to very quickly start having a food problem. And we'll have to be careful about what we do construct over there. We'll basically construct it in a similar way to this, where we'll have... Actually, or do I want to... I'm thinking, do I actually want to have... Well, that's something that we don't know that we need to know. We need to know whether or not... whether or not this will provide us with phrasing, what I'm looking for. What are the words that I'm looking for? Whether or not this has more vehicles going to and from it. Because if it doesn't, then the extra storage amount doesn't help, it just wastes space. At the minute, our biggest problem is getting food around places, not the production of food. But as far as this is concerned, we are still losing food. Okay, we need to get more people over here. We can take from here 20 crew without too much issue. So take from sector 1, drop in sector 2, specifically workers 20. Now what do I want to, because that's now maximum capacity, it has 9, that has 9. The water will keep up with that. I think we just have to build 3 more of these, or we could build another one of these. I think in the next sector what we might do is we'll have this here and we'll rotate this around. That is going to leave a line of a double line rather than a single line in terms of
Population transfer complete.
space available. Let's pause for a second. Okay, so this now has extra working extra working population. I think we theoretically only have enough for one of these to be or two of these to be powered up and running. We need to sort out our existing food situation first. Once we've done that, we can open up the next sector to start working on that.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Okay, how badly did this go? We have repatriated the PA of the Protagoras. Wait, can't we replace theirs? Save a copy of the copy. So I wonder what the other option did. If this one gave us a copy of their PA for science, then what would the other option have done? Which was copy our PA to theirs. Give us resources? Would they have given us resources for that? I highly doubt the game would have given us stability. The game never gives us stability. For 3. Space greenhouse. Reach tier 2 food specialization in a sector. Good lord, if it's that hard to reach tier 2 food specialization, has that given us a massive boost in food? Please, please say that does. No, it just adds extra stability. Okay, game has given us 3 stability. Building production requires 10% less water. I think that already existed. It would have been nice if it gave us additional food, or food production. Okay, we can turn that off. We can't activate this yet. There we go. Now we can turn that off and activate that. Okay. That will hopefully make me less worrying about our food situation. And we can finally get this last piece of science. Once that is done, let's get that. Actually, which is more important? Do I want to get the storage first, or do I want to get food sorted first? Storage. I want to get storage eventually. That is definitely the next thing.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Power overloads have a lower chance of generating accidents. Mech constructs buildings, mech repairs buildings. Harsh trust penalty on overloads. Production speed is increased by 33, not useful at the minute. Do we have to get that one? We do have to get that one first. Fair enough. I think we go this to help make sure that we have sufficient food and that we can start waking people up again in the not too distant future. Then we'll push down to these two so that our food efficiency is even higher. That actually removes the need to get another sector up and running in a minute. We're going to need it anyway, but we won't need it immediately, which would be nice to not have to worry about. And then after that, let's give medium stockpiles. No, after that, let's get the next tier of crew quarters. I think is probably our best option. So yeah, that, then that, I think is our order of operations. It would also be really nice to just beeline down here. There's so many researches I would love to just hang around and just collect. Just let them accumulate, rather than moving on. Which is why we were, or one of the reasons why we were doing this. I'll worry about that as to whether or not I actually want to do that. But this will... you'll have enough food. There's enough food around. We'll leave it there for the week. I'll worry about that sort of thing between now and next episode. But for now, all of that will do. Oh, balls. We've damaged our food production. By having that off. Look how much waste these things have collected. This thing can't get rid of them quick enough, or can't get rid of that much waste quick enough, but that's fine. That'll get shipped over and turned into circuits. Anyway, we will leave it there for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back in next week with more of this, so hopefully we'll see you next time. Cheerio.